Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the main stage here at Hack for Good, the Mental Health Project. Well, the first thing I have to tell you is that hacking is officially over. It ended at 4 p.m. And what a night. Congratulations to all of our participants. In fact, can I ask everybody to head over to the chat and give our team some recognition? Maybe post an applause or high five emoji. Making it through a hackathon is not easy. And as I like to say, not everyone who starts a hackathon finishes a hackathon. So kudos to all of our teams for making it through to the presentations. I'd also like to welcome everyone tuning in from LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. We're happy to have you join us here. Now, once again, I'd like to take a moment to thank our amazing sponsors, leading off with our presenting sponsor, Home Hardware. Special thank you to Chris Parsons and his team. And thank you to the town of Whitby, Invest Durham, 360 Insights, Spark Center, and 1855. We are so grateful to have the support from our community sponsors in Staples Canada and the Canadian Mental Health Association. We couldn't have done it without you, so thank you so much. We also had some fantastic speakers and mentors throughout the event. Thank you all for sharing your talents and your time with our teams. And I've heard some really amazing feedback from our mentors, and it sounds like we're about to see some pretty amazing prototypes. So let's get into it. Let's bring up our illustrious panel of judges to the stage. Hi there. Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
Trish, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Ready to go?
Excited.
All right, fantastic. So rather than read your bios again, I'm just going to take a minute to ask you each to introduce yourself. So Dennis, in the order of my screen, you're first. So do you want to take it away?
Sure. I'm Dennis Croft. I'm the CEO at 1855 Technology Accelerator, which is very, very close to where GeekSpeak is located. Very excited to be part of this event and hearing your presentations today.
Awesome. Thanks, Dennis. Over to you, Sayani.
Hi, my name is Sayani Paul, and I'm a scientific writer with the Research and Academics Department at Ontario Shore Centre for Mental Health Sciences. I'm very excited to be here today and really looking forward to some of the exciting projects that you come up with. It's very, very needed in this time of hour.
Super. Thanks, Sayani. And Chris, we already know you, but one more time.
Hey, thanks everyone. I'm Chris Parsons, the Director of E-commerce for Home Hardware. I've been doing e-commerce since Isaac was a teenager, and really enjoy having the opportunity to be here this afternoon.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Isaac.
Awesome. My name is Isaac. I'm a teenager and the founder of GeekSpeak Commerce. So excited to have all these judges take their time to be part of this process today. And I know the teams were working really hard overnight, up until what time in the morning. So expecting to see some really, really good prototypes presented.
All right, super. Thank you, judges. So with you still on deck, I'm going to do a quick review of our judging criteria. And I know you've got that in front of you as well. So the first area is impact. Does the product create value for the user? Does it satisfy a need or fix an existing healthcare issue? Next is innovation. Is the prototype unique? Is it building on an existing solution or product? Is there a wow factor to the uniqueness of the idea and prototype? Then alignment with the challenge. Is the solution relevant to the healthcare issue chosen by the team and the theme of the event? And of course, user experience. How good is the overall experience of a person using the product? Is it simple to use, intuitive, and visually pleasing? And lastly, the presentation. Did the team explain their prototype and the issue they chose clearly? Did they have a concise and easy to follow presentation? So I think the criteria is clear for the judges as well as our teams. So with that, I'm going to have the judges return to backstage. So great seeing you all. We'll see you in a bit. Fantastic. So now I'm going to give our teams the rundown on how the next couple of hours will flow. Okay. I'll be introducing each of the teams in numerical order. So we've got team 1 up first, followed by team 2, 3, 4, 5, then team 9, and then team 10. So you might notice some gaps in the numbers. Remember, as I said, not everyone who starts a hackathon finishes a hackathon. So again, kudos to our teams who are here and ready to present. So I'll introduce each team so that they can begin their presentation. Each team will have 5 minutes and will be given a 1-minute warning and then a 30-second warning as their timing runs out. You'll actually see a banner pop up on the screen as the time is running out. So you've got the 1 minute left, and then we also have a 30-second warning. There we go. Okay. So at the end of the 5 minutes, I'll come back on screen, and that's your signal that the presentation is over. And at this time, I'll invite our judges back on stage so that they can ask you 1 to 2 questions. So don't be surprised when they pop up on screen. So following the question period, the judges will enter their scores, and I will ask the next team to enter backstage using the StreamYard link provided to you. Okay. From there, we'll keep repeating the cycle until we've seen all of the presentations. So there's one really, really important note for our judges as well as our teams. Do not have StreamYard and Hopin open at the same time on your computer. If you do, we'll all experience a pretty loud echo. So make sure that you close Hopin before you log into StreamYard. Once you're through with your presentation, you can close StreamYard and then pop over back to Hopin. Okay. All right. Now, once you're back in Hopin, you can watch the rest of the presentations and, of course, stick around for the announcement of our winners. Now, I'm going to take a minute just to remind everyone what our teams are competing for. So, of course, the grand prize is $2,500, a prize pack, plus your name on our Innovation Cup, which is right beside me here. And of course, exclusive bragging rights for winning the Hack for Good, the Mental Health Project Hackathon. Second prize will win $500 plus a prize pack. And third prize will win a wonderful prize pack. All of our prize packs include a gift card from Home Hardware. And of course, the hope is that at least one of our prototypes will live beyond this event and find a place in the real world to support people struggling with their mental health or to provide a tool to help our professional caregivers or family members. Okay, so that was a lot. That was the rundown. And with all that said, I'm going to ask Team 1 to close Hopin and head over to StreamYard backstage. And we'll give them a minute to get there. All right. Hi, Team 1.
Hey there.
How are you doing?
Good, good.
Super. Are you the lone presenter?
Yes, I am.
All
So
right.
I'm going to share my screen. Let me know if it's working. How's that? Perfect. Okay. Let's begin. So thanks, everyone. We're team number 1, and today we present OD Aid. The core problem that we're trying to solve today is the problem of the opioid overdose crisis. And this crisis has cost the US taxpayer system over $1 trillion in 2017. Recently in Canada, there was over 5,000 deaths due to the opioid overdoses. And if you ever thought COVID-19 was bad, the opioid overdose killed 50% more people than COVID in British Columbia. Now, all these staggering numbers are getting worse and worse over time. So this is a very core and important problem that needs to be solved. The solutions that exist today don't solve this problem. First off, the Red Cross First Aid app is essentially an encyclopedia and is incredibly hard to navigate in acute situations. The Lifeguard app and other similar apps that set a timer allow a user to set an emergency timer before they doze. However, these apps don't work and don't solve the problem. In fact, a similar app was discontinued in Alberta and resulted in over $300,000 of taxpayer money wasted. And so the ultimate solution is to really empower you, the bystander, to help. But what do you do when you witness an overdose? You probably panic. But no worries, you don't have to panic anymore. Today we're introducing OD-Aid, a dual platform overdose support tool that empowers you, the bystander, to administer first aid to individuals, and also empowers public health to track and monitor cases over time. So what does this look like in reality? Starting with the mobile app, if you think you are seeing someone who is suffering from overdose, you launch the app, and the app walks you step by step what to do. So first, you triage the individual and identify what conditions they have. Based on your answers, the app will adjust its recommendations and give you the right set of steps. Also, having a voice control method so that you can do this all hands-free. As you navigate through the app app also dials emergency services and reminds you where you're currently located and helps you speak to emergency services. Once the phone call is connected, it goes into the background and the app continues to guide you to provide medical care. And so as you go through the steps, the app also integrates with naloxone or other medication programs for opioid overdoses and reminds you how to use these kits to maximum effect. So even if you forget, you don't have to worry. Finally, when the individual is recovered or breathing, or when EMTs arrive, the app congratulates you and recommends that you share your experience. Back on the home screen, you can track your app user statistics as well as navigate other resources. Now, for public health professionals can use the data to understand trends and what is going on in their city. And so you can look at individual cases, or you can toggle a heat map view. You can also toggle stats and trends to see how opioid overdose cases are happening over time in certain geolocations. Allows you to track your impact. Finally, for emergency services planning, you're able to add additional filters for time of day, for specific day times, and specific symptoms that people might have and are being reported. And again, you have full functionality of heat maps and trends. So that's OD-Aid. How will we get users? So the app user acquisition is quite straightforward. We can package it with existing government programs that help try to combat overdose. Or we can distribute these apps to volunteer groups to help them, empower them to be first-line care. And once there's a lot of data coming into the central system, our app helps provide decision support to public health professionals to make sure they allocate scarce resources the most effectively. OD-Aid ultimately saves lives because it gives users like you the confidence in rescuing and providing medical care. It also increases the efficiency of EMS surveillance, so we're always able to get there on time. Ultimately, that means we save money by reducing chance of hospitalization and reducing long-term economic burden. And finally, it creates a sense of community to secure money for in-need neighborhoods, evaluate responses to outreach programs, measure ROI, measure impact, and improve overall awareness of this issue. Thank you so much. We are OD-Aid.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Team number one, OD-Aid. I see you have some company with you there, Tony.
Yes. This
Hi.
is Jenny.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. So we're just going to invite the judges back up to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to try. I'll go first, Tony. Thank you for a great presentation. I thought you told the story well. I think there's some really good ideas all cooking at the same time, but one of the things that struck out to me right off the beginning, what's the degree of confidence that somebody needs to really administer first aid of somebody in crisis? Is that something you validated a little bit? Because I can imagine somebody saying, well, do I know enough to actually help somebody?
Yeah, and I think that's where kind of our user acquisition piece comes in, because the people that will have access to these take-home naloxone kits, at least in British Columbia, are people that are interested in helping people in times of crisis. And most of these people are actually healthcare workers already. And you do have to kind of meet a certain criteria in order to kind of have access to these kits. So we're thinking that maybe the initial kind of cohort that have access to try out this app can give us feedback on how that is, to see how we can maybe integrate the app into the general public is the next step.
Yeah, I think that's a critical step. And I certainly like the idea of being able to track incidents and begin to do, from a policy standpoint, allocate funds and begin to really get a numbers back in terms of how big the problem is. But I'll let some of the judges also ask a question here.
Okay. Do you mind if I go next?
Yep.
Just to build off, Isaac, what you were saying, a lot of times in an emergency situation, it's running on adrenaline and people are just, they're acting without even really paying attention to what they're doing. So is there a way to do some calming influence through that app that's just giving them confidence through that procedure? Because even if they've taken a first aid course, they're still going to be shaking hands and they're still going to be really nervous about the whole situation that they're in. And then the other piece is maybe there's a tie-in with health and safety programs at work where you have to finish that course and you're certified when you get that app. So that way no one's doing this. I've seen in Ontario where people try to help and then they get sued later on because they made it worse. So that was the only area. And then some kind of tracking mechanism with the first response to give you confidence as the user that they're really on their way, that there's a confirmation that you're not in this by yourself.
I think those are all really great ideas, Chris. To tackle your first question, I think we do want to integrate kind of an audio function to the app. And that will obviously be a calming voice and maybe to also give encouragements along the way. You know, you're doing well, help is on the way, so that the user can focus on the individual who's in need of help in front of them while still having that audio prompt. So that's kind of the piece that we worked into the app for that. And in terms of, I guess, tracking emergency response times, that's certainly something that we're interested in, like working with public health or even the health authorities to get that data, because I think it will be really interesting to graph it out and see whether, you know, some of the changes that we're making on the board is reflecting on the number of lives we're saving.
Yeah, well done, guys. That was great.
From a user experience perspective, we were trying to think along that route of giving them encouragement, giving them calming energy. I think it's twofold. First of all, we're trying to add, like, you know, the high five at the end, like you did a good job. Maybe you could do that, like, don't panic, we're going to connect you 911, like all these sort of audio guides. And the other side of things, we think about the existing market of tools, right? If you're today come across someone, what do? Like, you have nothing to help you whatsoever, and you're definitely on your own. I can definitely see why people might panic and make the situation worse, because they just don't know what to do. Even if they were trained, they might just forget. So having that app guide you along the way definitely is the biggest opportunity here.
Okay, super. Thank you so much, team number one, team ODA. Appreciate that. Are you based in BC?
Yeah, we're in Vancouver.
Okay, super. Thank you so much for joining. As I was saying, you know, going virtual, that's one great benefit of being able to tap into talent all across the country. So we're so happy to have you join us here for the hackathon. And yes, this OD situation is definitely a crisis out in BC in particular. So thank you so much for your prototype.
Thanks for a well-organized event.
All right, you bet. Well done, everybody. All right, so judges, that's your first team to evaluate. We'll let you get to it. And while you're doing that, we're going to ask team number two to get on deck and head backstage. Hi, everyone. We've got team number 2 up next. So I'm just going to invite team number 2 to come on stage. Hello. Hi, everyone. There you are. Awesome. Super. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to hand the stage over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone.
Wait, do you
We
see
are-
the screen?
Oh. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. We are Team Vigilier. My name is Plus, and my team members are May, Habon, Sihai, and Stephanie. Our product is called PRN, and as May talks more about our app, please feel free to buckle up and chuckle.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bless. So, as Bless said, our app is called PRN. It stands for Pro Re Nada, and in Latin, it means as needed. So, the idea is that the app is to be used as needed to bring a little bit of joy through laughter. So, laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is non-invasive, cost-effective, and an easy way to implement and reduce stress. So, the target audience of the app is everyone, but it may be particularly helpful for those who have a busy schedule and are willing to spare a few minutes at a time. So with that, let's have Habon walk us through our app.
Thank you. As many people have access to smartphones, we decided to create the web application as a mobile responsive design first. Upon accessing the app, the homepage has different categories as well as a timer. Currently, we have 3 categories of jokes: dad jokes, memes, and roasts. When you click onto one of them, it's presented with a joke, and you can click the right button to see the next joke, and of course the left one to see the previous one. There's a guest category where users are presented with just the question, and once they think they know the answer, they can click the question to see it. There's also a laugh section where a user can press the laugh button and hear the sound. Because laughter is contagious, whenever you hear someone laugh, you laugh. To make a joke, a user can go to the Add a Joke. This is where they can write their own joke to be added to the database and displayed as a future joke on the app after being reviewed. The last feature that we have is a timer. We currently have the default time set to 4 minutes, but users have the option to determine how long they want to be on the app to prevent spending too much time on it, and of course, as PRN, when needed, as apps can be addicting. Also, once the timer goes off, there's a pop-up, but it doesn't close the app, and the user can continue to use the app if they wish. You may have also noticed that there's a lock icon next to the roast category. The idea is that you can unlock these categories and future categories for a small fee of $1 per category. We hope that we could be the revenue stream to make our app sustainable. A point we'd like to mention is that we've purposely excluded the common login, logout, and register feature. By excluding them, it's easy to access, as some may not want to spend the time to register and log in when all they want is a pick-me-up. As a reminder, laughter is the best medicine. It's common for us to be stressed and possibly burnt out. Self-care is important, and this app, which is free to use forever, is a helpful coping mechanism to lift you up and feel more positive. It's no joke that laughter is good for you. Thank you so much for your time.
Ha 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 ha. Thank you all.
Awesome. That's amazing. You know what? You're right. Sometimes you just need a laugh, right? That's fantastic. So let's bring our judges back in. Super. There they are. Okay. Which of our judges wants to lead off with the questions?
If I can go first, I'd love it. That'd be great. First of all, great presentation. Well done. I guess my question just centers around, did you give some thought to maybe including some analytics or a feedback component to, mood or, state before and after using the app? Any thoughts on that?
Oops. Any thoughts on that one, folks? Any thoughts put into the analytics behind the app itself?
It isn't something that we've technically added. It is something that we hope to further develop in terms of our app, as the app that we currently have is MVP. And as time progresses, hopefully we hope to add a few more features such as the one you've mentioned.
Also, just tagging on a little bit, if we eventually maybe do end up on a like login logout route, if that does occur that way, maybe we could do a likes section, and then the amount of likes, maybe we could go and show those jokes. We know that those are the more popular ones. Maybe something around that.
Excellent.
Right. So speaking about the analytics, we also decided that in the future we might want to use some algorithms that like those big companies like Google and YouTube does. So like say for YouTube, for example, whenever you search for like a video, it will like take analytics of like a specific trend of the video and show you a specific trend of that video. So we want to incorporate to our jokes too. So a similar stream of jokes will show to the user.
Adding on to that, we can also give the user an incentive. So for example, we can add another amount of free use if the user fills out a form stating how they feel about the app and what we can do to improve the app.
Okay, super. Thank you. I think Dr. Sayani, you had, Dr. Paul,
I
you had
have
a
a
question?
question for the team. Very good presentation. Thank you. My question is that how do you think that this app will promote mental well-being for those who are struggling with mental illness or mental health challenges?
So the way that this can help those who are struggling with a mental illness is that when it comes to mental illnesses, everybody requires a coping mechanism. And this app is a type of coping mechanism that promotes self-care. And just to sometimes get a bit of relief is really important for improving one's mental health. So we feel that this app is very helpful in doing that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, super. Thank you so much, team number 2. And thank you for the laugh. Appreciate it. All right. We'll let the judges do their evaluation.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Okay. Our judges are going to be deliberating, and then we're just going to ask team number 3 to get on deck. Okay, so we've got team number 3 ready to go. Hi there.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Great, thanks.
All good to go?
We sure are.
All right, the stage is yours.
All right, thank you very much. So I'm Riley and part of Team 3, and the prototype that we coded is called Got Your 6, which basically comes from the military lingo that somebody's got your 6, it means they got your 6 o'clock or they got your back. So the problem that we wanted to address is mental health problems in the military, specifically that about 1 in 10 CAP members have been diagnosed with PTSD. and many members need help, but face difficulties and barriers in finding the help that they need. So we produced or coded a chat-based application that's going to help these military members with PTSD. Since me and Adam are both aerospace engineers in the Air Force, we see PTSD on a daily basis, whether our subordinates, our peers. PTSD is real, and there is a lot of need and areas of improvement to improve the support that we can have for PTSD. So we have talked with many members around in the area lately to try and figure out the best way to improve this. But one of the biggest things we found is the limitations of the other sources for PTSD, especially as it pertains to military. So there's lots of peer-based support groups, which are effective when members are comfortable talking with others and opening up to the peers. However, there's a barrier when not everyone feels comfortable opening up with someone that they can work with. Also, there's crisis lines that exist for members to call out to, but maybe they feel these issues aren't significant enough to be worthy of a call to a crisis line. There's also lots of mental health experts and psychiatrists in the forces to help PTSD members who struggle. However, it often takes a long time to get these appointments, and you can only go when you're scheduled for these appointments. And as well, it can be difficult for these experts or mental health professionals to get on that related note to members that have been gone on deployments and operations. And therefore, interactions with mental health experts are often more of a solution-based and psychiatrist-based as opposed to a listening ear. And then, of course, there's chatbots, which follow the flowchart style. However, they, again, are more response-based. So what makes our resource different? Well, our resource called Got Your Six features Corporal Bloggins, who is a chatbot trained off of peer-based and mental health-based forums using a neural network to act as a friendly service member providing a listening ear, or to act as a professional member to provide potential solutions and exercises to assist members in need or in struggle. So our app also offers peer-to-peer conversation as well as member with professional conversation, which is going to give us some user-generated content to improve the training of our chatbot, but also just to allow members to share experiences with one another and help members move past the struggles they may have. And as well, our program, if it doesn't suit the user's needs, our chatbot also provides services and apps, training and exercises, depending on what they need, while ensuring compliance with policies and confidentiality. So how are we going to implement this? Well, fortunately, the CAP spends a lot of money to improve mental health, and there's a lot of research that's currently in place to improve mental health initiatives. So it seemed like a natural fit that we could provide some type of framework from the ground level that they can use to improve their services. In terms of how we can implement this, it's going to be quite simple. We go through a lot of training, so we can show and improve this training by including this app. So our target users for the app obviously are going to be the CAP members who need mental health and PTSD support. But we also want to engage members and peers who maybe have overcome their struggles to help with peer-to-peer chat, which is also going to help us train our chatbot, as well as provide professionals the opportunity to engage in real-time chat with members that need help. And as well, in the future, we can look at engaging maybe police, Coast Guard, or U.S. military, or other services that have high likelihood of being succumbed to PTSD and traumatic distress orders. So I just wanted to go over a little bit quickly before the questions. This is our chatbot that was giving you this presentation and the information. PTSD is real, and it's very prevalent in the forces, especially with the recent events. So having some type of anonymous a platform to get help is crucial when there's many barriers that are already in place. So our chatbot offers 4 options to help a member go through. And then, for example, if at any time throughout the chat they need help, the member can simply type SOS, and it'll automatically direct them to services. Or they can engage in the various chat-based programs from the neural network, or they can engage in person-to-person interaction. So that's all I have, and I'm really excited for any questions you may have, and thank you for listening to my presentation.
Super. Thank you so much, Riley. And I think you've got Adam with you too.
Yeah, he's in the corner.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Love the name of the app.
Thank you.
And which province are you joining us from?
So we're in Ontario.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. So we've got our judges up on screen now. I'll hand it over. Who wants to take the lead?
Yeah, awesome. I'll take the first one if you don't mind. Riley, thank you so much for demonstrating your chatbot. Uh, I love ML-based projects, but knowing that, I know there's all these challenges in terms of accessing data to train and come up with a tool that's actually reflective of all the different scenarios. How are you going to address that and ensure you're as inclusive or as comprehensive as needed?
Yeah, obviously that was one of the biggest struggles that we faced in the 24 hours, because even just training the deep neural network is going to take days and days and days. So like, I'll let Adam answer the question. He's the one that actually worked on the neural network part of it.
Sure.
But yeah, that is obviously the biggest part of it, because there is so much uniqueness for each case.
Right.
So we do need a large database, of course, but also enabling that peer-to-peer chat to train our bot is going to be probably one of the best possible ways to improve our chatbot.
Yeah.
I'll let you add on anything.
Yeah. So specifically, we were trying to go through it to use the machine learning to create this chatbot. And some of the difficulties that we did find initially was for sure finding any data sources that we could train it on.
Right.
For mental health services, they're very sparse. However, one area that's not really been used is forums that are online. So people go online and they can talk between each other about their experiences with PTSD. And we were able to scrape all that data and run it through a machine learning algorithm, a deep learning, a very, very basic one that was definitely overtrained. But in the future, we have access to a lot more powerful computing resources, where we'd be able to train these models to effectively work through all the data that's out there on these forums. Because there was, I think, like almost 100,000 different forum posts. So there's a significant amount of data on there.
Right.
Used. Just need the time to do it.
Yeah. I mean, 30 hours is not a lot of time, but I think you've hit on a very acute need. So there's definitely there. And I like the fact that you've integrated other resources, and maybe Dr. Paul will speak to this, but anytime you could actually integrate other support mechanisms as part of a self-help tool, I think it makes it even better. Dr. Paul, I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Oh, I really liked your presentation and the fact that you touched upon a very area that is often neglected, partly also because of the stigma. And I like the fact that you have it in mind that you are going to target police. I would also strongly like you to consider firefighters as a target group, because they also have equal amount of post-traumatic stress disorder. So yeah, and I like the fact that you have the option of SOS help and the mental health connections that you're doing. So yeah, it's a very good initiative.
On it. No, design-wise, I did find that there's a bit of there's some room to work on there. What's the final look and feel from a usability standpoint? I'm sure Richard would have a bunch of things to say here, but what are your thoughts on sort of making this more like a user-friendly interface?
Yeah, so full disclosure, I learned how to code HTML and JavaScript last night. So what you see is what I was able to figure out in 24 hours.
Right.
Obviously, like, we just wanted to get the framework there to show what we can do, and there's so much more that we can do to make it better. Like having it easily accessible, maybe from different media streams I can access it. Sorry, social media streams, more user-friendly, maybe have some type of push buttons or more direct links. So yeah, like the usability, we want to keep it simple. We want to keep it as just like something you're going to text. Like lots of the apps that are out there, you have to push like 3 buttons to get to something that's going to direct you to a hotline. Ours, you just type SOS and it's going to send you to a call center around you. So we want to keep it simple. We want to make it feel as if you're going to be talking to somebody over text without adding all the extra options. But yeah, like there's definitely room to improve the user face or the user interface, as we just very, very new at coding this.
Awesome. I was coding Walmart's website in 2004, and I learned it from HTML for Dummies in a week. So you did way better than I did. My question though is, chatbots are typically cold, very prescriptive with answers, and very like if you're trying to talk to someone that's having some opportunities. I appreciate the SOS, but maybe something other than an SOS to get help, something that doesn't feel so desperate. Because I would think, and I'm not in this field, but trying to be a little bit more positive and motivational versus like this is life threatening kind of feel to it. And that was my only comment when I was thinking about.
I'm really glad you asked that. Sorry to cut you off. I'm really glad you asked that because that is exactly what we want to target. We didn't want to create a chatbot that's going to give you a list of questions and try and be cold. We wanted to create a chatbot that's going to say, okay, this is a person that's going to give me some type of constructive feedback. It's going to have emotion. And that's where, and we start to see that it's coming out of using the forums from the peer-to-peer conversation. The emotion is there. I'm not saying it's going to have emotion, but I'm saying that we're trying to avoid the question response as opposed to this is what a member had said on a forum, and this is what somebody's response was like, oh yeah, it can be hard. I know, I've gone through it too, and that's kind of the responses that we're trying to target for the peer-to-peer based chatbot, as opposed to oh, you should go try this resource, you should go try that resource, you should try this CBT technique, etc., etc.
Okay. Super. Well, thank you so much, Riley and Adam. Team number 3 got your 6. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll let our judges enter their scores while we ask team number 4 to get on deck. Okay, looks like we've got team number 4 ready to go. They're on deck. Hi, team number 4.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey. Good, you?
Good, good. So where are you guys hailing from? Which provinces are you in?
I think we're all over the place. I am in New Brunswick, so I'm the most east out of our team.
Okay, nice.
I'm in Southern Ontario.
Awesome.
Yep, Southern Ontario as well.
Cool. Ontario as well? Okay. All right, good stuff. Well, glad to have you. I'm going to let you take it away with your presentation.
Perfect. Okay, everybody, my name is Christiane. I'm part of Team 360, and we're here to present to you our app prototype. So, as you all know, I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Yes, okay. As you all know, we live in a world where mental health concerns are on the rise. The issue is that the number of people wanting help is much higher than the number of healthcare workers we have available. The goal for our app is to teach and empower people to open up the conversation surrounding mental health. In most cases, we might be able to encourage people to support each other through certain processes, or at least until they can get professional help. So let's get right to it. Let me show you guys our app. So you're going to get to your home page. We're going to log in. So on the home page, you can hit into calendar. When you go into calendar, you can see the whole month. And every time you see one of the little faces, that means that we entered some journaling in. On the side, we have like daily reminders. This is something that you could customize where you put certain things that make you happy, just good reminders. Now, we also have self-assessment. All of our self-assessment are sourced from government sites, so they're all very reliable. We're going to go, for example, into anxiety. And I'm going to fill this out super quick so to show you how it works. Okay, so let's say I scored 14. Based on my response, the symptoms are consistent with people who have moderate symptoms of anxiety. A follow-up with family doctor or mental health practitioner is recommended. So now I know a little bit more where I stand, get an idea, and it's time for me to start journaling. So I'm going to go into my daily journaling. As you can see, right up here we have different prompts. The idea is that not everybody knows how to journal or knows what to talk about. So we want to give them options by going into journal for anxiety. One of them is today I'm thankful for. You know what? I love that one. So let's do act for good because that's going to be my theme. And I'm going to go ahead and submit. Now, because I'm in a great mood today, everything's great, I'm going to give myself a 5. So as you can see, we can see exactly where I'm standing today. And once you click on it, you can see different entries that you would have done on that day. Now, one of the big things that we want to promote here and kind of sets us apart is the fact that you can add friends. So by going onto our little heart icon here, you can see that I already have 3 friends. Now, you have to add and accept these people, and they need to be people that you trust with some of your information. They will never have access to your journaling, but they have access to an overview of your last 7 days. The idea behind this is that we want to, again, we want to encourage the conversation, understand the conversation. For example, if I'm looking at Larry right now, I can see that he's at an average at a 4 out of 10. And the last 7 days, he's below average. So by clicking on Larry, I have the opportunity to go ahead and chat with him, or at least it gives me the insight to say, you know what, I should call him tonight and say, like, I noticed that you're not having a great week. Just wondering if you want to talk about what's going on. We also have additional resources down here. So the crisis line, kids helpline, and Indigenous people across Canada. So just extra support. Now let me bring you back to my presentation here for a couple extra points. So this is just the overview that we just went over. The 2.0 version, what we are hoping to see is that we would like to offer weekly, monthly statistic results to help detect patterns. Have the option to add pictures into your journaling. The idea is to really customize everything so that you can make it your own. And then we want to add more resources, so different self-assessments that we could add in based on the need, what's more popular. We would like to add a toolbox. The toolbox will be who are your safe people? What makes you calm? What are your triggers? This is something you can fill out. Again, it's about understanding your own mental health and talking about it. We would also like to make the sign in a little bit more personal where you can create your avatar, add a person, maybe add a pronoun. Now, potential revenue stream or opportunities. We talked about maybe pairing up with someone like Bell Let's Talk, since they already have a very similar message and we could kind of work together to promote this. We could have some in-app purchases, so you could customize your little icons by buying different sets of them. And the same thing for some personal skins to really personalize the app. So thank you very much for listening. This is You Check In. Again, open the conversation, understanding the conversation, and let's start sharing the conversation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, team number 4. You check in. That was great. Invite the judges back on stage here. Okay, which of you wants to take the lead with the questions? All right, Dennis, you raised your hand.
Yeah, first of all, well done. I like the way that you actually walked us through, a true prototype. It was done in a demo format and wrapped your presentation, so that was quite well done. I guess my question would be: is there an ideal, from a mental health perspective, is there an ideal user group you're trying to target initially? Because I know it had a wide breadth to it, but is there an initial group?
So ideally, I think it's about, again, it's about sharing the conversation. It's about teaching people that it's okay to talk about what's going on or what's going on in your own mental health. Ideally, I'd love to see maybe a younger group start using this. We're always on our phones anyway, so it'd be nice to start journaling, but teaching this background so that when our youth do grow up, they already know that it's okay to talk about this and they're open to have this conversation with peers that they trust. So the idea is also to build a trust system between friends or family or someone that you are willing to show a little bit where you stand mentally.
Great. Okay. Thank you for sharing with that.
Super. Dr. Paul.
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. You actually, your presentation actually hits on a very important issue of stigma, mental illness. My question, when you said that, okay, today I'm on a level of 14, which means I might have some moderate anxiety. My first question is that how did you get that scaling from where? And second is that then what? Next what? Okay, I have moderate anxiety. Then how is your app going to help me? If I find myself like say, I'm in borderline depression, and what I'm going to do with your app?
Thank you for the question. So the scaling is actually based on assessment tools that are used in clinical settings that we managed to break down the questions and the scoring in order to actually add them to the application themselves. As for the follow-ups, initially the follow-ups are just going to be recommendations for people to reach out to their family physician and mental health practitioners in order to ensure that they are getting qualified diagnosis from an actual healthcare professional. But as Christiane had mentioned in the presentation, part of what we want to add to the application in the 2.0 version is to bring forth that mental health toolbox. So if somebody is showing that they are, if their results show that they are struggling in some way, then they have a set of tools that they can fall back on in order to support themselves in the short term until they're able to get the mental health support from a trusted professional in the long term.
Thank you.
Great.
Just had a couple quick follow-ups on usability because most Canadians actually read and write at like a grade 5 level. So I was just concerned about all of those areas to fill out the language that might have been used. I was trying to squint and see it, but my old eyes weren't allowing me to see the language. So just be careful on the language. And then from a language perspective, is there a toggle for people to see French and English or whatever other language? And then the last part was correlating maybe if I'm tracking my journal, a lot of my mental health has to do with my fitness level and my activity level. Is maybe there's an opportunity to tie in one of their other tools that's tracking fitness to correlate. Why am I having these down days? Oh, I missed out my workout routine the last 3 days, and I'm no expert, but that might have something to do with it. So maybe that's 2.1.
Yep.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. We kind of discussed a situation where when the statistics could be able to be brought in so that you can look at the overall, and with the programming, we could see ups and downs. And I'm not the programmer, obviously, but I was told, like, it would be maybe to be able to hit like keywords that are coming up, or like you say, maybe that you can select like today was a great day, why, and have options that you could also just click in and fill out easy, so that statistic wise, it really personalizes it for you and makes it a little easier.
Right. I was just going to add what I found unique in your app, the whole idea of being able to bring in your trusted community around how you're feeling, I think is something that I haven't seen before. There's a lot of being able to track how you're feeling, but the fact that you can share that with other people, and more importantly, you can check on other people, see how they're feeling. I thought that was a really, really cool feature there.
Thank you. I think we live in a world where if we can start talking about it and checking in on each other, we could do a lot better.
Absolutely. Great way to end it. Thank you so much for the questions and call outs. Team number 4, fantastic. Thank you so much. Judges, you're off to enter your scores. All right, so next up we have team number 5. We're going to ask team number 5 to head backstage. All right, so we've got team number 5 ready to go, which is fantastic. Great job by all the teams being ready. Hi, team number 5.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Doing
Okay.
good, doing good.
Which province are you hailing from?
Ontario.
Okay. Lots of representation from Ontario.
Saskatoon.
Oh, Saskatoon. Awesome.
Also
All right. Well,
Ontario.
welcome. Oh, Alberta. Good
No,
stuff.
Ontario.
Ontario. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. All right. Hello, everybody. We are Team Synergy, and today we'll be presenting our mobile application. So the question that we wanted to answer, or the problem that we wanted to solve, was finding time for yourself to do self-care. Sometimes finding time for yourself is probably the hardest thing to do. And even though we know self-care is important, even the effort of finding time is a task within itself. So our goal, as mentioned, is to make it easier to prioritize self-care. So how are we going to do that? Well, before we even get to the how, let's talk about the existing market solutions that are out there. So currently, we do have a ton of options in regards to self-care applications. And most of these self-care apps on the market are focused on habit forming and habit tracking, which are wonderful, of course. But the one thing that they are missing that doesn't solve the problem is, where do I find the time for self-care? Because they are missing an important piece, which is a schedule. And this is where our app comes in. So meet Synergy. It's a scheduling app that finds free time in your calendar to suggest and block off time for self-care activities, thus solving the issue of where do I find the time. The core features of our app, of course, is eliminating the obstacle of finding free time blocks. It also suggests self-care activities based on your personal preference, and it also provides progress reports for self-reflection at the end of the week and at the end of the month. To track your progress and to say, hey, look at how far I've come today. In regards to our application, it does have some business potential as well. The suggested activities can lead our users to new businesses, essentially directing new customers for businesses. For example, let's say you like to do yoga. The suggested activity can actually suggest different yoga studios around you, helping the yoga studio get new customers, as well as helping you accomplish your self-care goal for that week. Again, it can help business find customers for time slots where traffic is slower, and our app can also act as a non-intrusive advertising for businesses, since the user is already looking for things and places to do. I will now hand it over to Helen, who will be sharing our prototype.
So welcome to our prototype. So here's our onboarding screens where the user will be given a short description of what our app is about. Started. So they'll be asked to sign up for an account and enter in their information. So to have a more personalized experience, we'll be asking the users a series of questions. So the first one is, what self-care themes are they interested in? So we've chosen these 3. Continue. The next question will allow users to set weekly or monthly self-care goals. And we know that self-care activities are not always budget friendly, so we want to accommodate for everyone. Finish. And we need this permission pop-up to appear because we need to access our user's calendar in order to find free time slots. So this is our homepage. The homepage will give a brief summary of our users' activities and progress. So here our user has completed 3 out of 10 of their self-care activities, and the progress bar shows how far the users has come. So based off of positive reinforcement, we chose flowers as our reward system. So for each month that he has finished all his self-care activities, he will receive a flower, and eventually he'll collect so many flowers, he'll have a whole garden, which will be shown in his profile. And there are 3 tasks that our user can choose from. I'll be going through the first one. So find time. This is a list of free time that we have found for a user, and for here, they will select a date and choose to do an activity. For example, go for a walk outside. We can see that it'll have a pop-up, add to calendar, okay. And we can see that the activity has been added to our calendar now. And this plus icon will also allow users to add custom activities. However, say we want to go to a yoga class instead, the app will find nearby yoga studios nearby where we can book. The second task, take a breath. So if the user only has 2 to 3 minutes to spare, they can do some easy breathing exercises by following this prompt. And the third task over here is instant self-care. So instant self-care allows our users to do something right on the spot without adding it to their calendar. And then our weekly report. So this report gives insight to our users on how many types of self-care activities they have done throughout the week. You can see these examples right here. And our user profile. So this user profile shows our user here, Sam, and his greenhouse. So it shows the flowers that he grew throughout the month, which is our reward system. So to conclude, we hope that our app Synergy will motivate users to prioritize self-care into their schedule by allowing our app to take away the effort to find free time. Thank you so much for listening.
Super, right on time. Thank you, Team Synergy. Appreciate that. For those of us who live and die by our calendars, I can definitely see the use case for this one. So let's invite our judges back on stage. Hi, judges.
Hey, Synergy. I want to jump in first really quick. I love the name. I love the design, the look of the app, the color selection. I think you've done a great job there. I was happily surprised with what I saw. At first, I was really concerned that it was just going to end up being a directory of ads of, go to this yoga studio, go to that place. But that really kind of played in the background in terms of where everything else was. I love the reward system, even the themes around flowers. They're really tie in with the whole, feeling and thinking about calm and mental health. So I really like that. A quick question for you, and Trisha kind of raised it. It's kind of tied to this whole idea of finding time in a database of schedules and events that I already have planned. What happens if I don't have a calendar, or if I'm not tied to a calendar? Can I still use the app, and how would that work?
Yes, you can still use the app. So on the app itself has its own little calendar, so you can add your own little events. But on the homepage of the app, it also has a breathing exercise which is square breathing. It doesn't take very long to do, which is like a self-care activity in itself, just breathing. And
Right.
also, it also has the instant self-care button as well, which provides you different self-care activities, which are short and easy to do. So if you are not tied to your calendar, you can still participate in this app and use it as a directory of sorts of different self-care activities that you can partake for yourself.
I love that. And being able to tie in any kind of audio prompts or chirping birds in the background, I think would be awesome. So, but I'll let another judge ask a question.
Just a really quick comment on, I have a blended calendar. It's a personal and work calendar. It's all in one, and everything personal goes into that calendar as private. So just like a call out from usability is, if you're adding stuff from this app, it should go into your calendar as a private, because I don't want like my 40 people that have visibility to my calendar at work seeing that I'm going to yoga. But yeah, great presentation. I really enjoyed that one.
Okay, super. Any other questions, Dennis or Dr. Paul?
I thought it was very well done, but no questions.
Okay, super. Well, thank you so much, Team Synergy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. So we are going to call our next team up, and that would be team number 9. Team number 9. Okay, team number 9 is ready to go. Let's bring them on stage. Hi, team 9. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. And where are you joining us from?
Brampton, Ontario.
Okay, lots of representation from Ontario. That's good. All right, so I'm going to get you to take it away on the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Cute, and my project focuses on ADHD. ADHD is a disorder where the person suffering from ADHD can't really focus. People don't understand. The worst part about ADHD is not ADHD itself. It's about the health insurance companies not covering it, the government not covering it. The OHIP doesn't cover ADHD or its treatment or its medicine. I have many family members and friends who are suffering from ADHD and they don't really have a cure. They don't really have support from anybody. ADHD costs a lot of money. The assessment for ADHD is around $1,600 to $1,800. The medicine every month costs around $100. Even though you have medicines, but it's not really a cure. It just makes it better for a little bit of time. But something which actually you have all the time is your mobile phone. So do you want to deal with the problem with the medicinal use, or do you want to deal with the problem with technology? That's where WIT comes in. So WIT is an application which will help you with ADHD. User will see very easy and very user-friendly interface where the main task the user has to perform when they're panicking is to click on this focus button. Once they're on this focus button, they'll be greeted with this game. This game will tell them what to do. There isn't a lot of things to do, so they can't really get distracted. They have to choose the white ball. They click on it, it moves away. They click on it again, it moves away. You click on it again, and when you click on it again, it actually makes it a little bit difficult. So we are going stage by stage. We are tackling the problem stage by stage. And here they got to choose all the green balls. Well, for demonstration purpose, I'm going to click on one ball and it's still going to work. And now the game got more harder. Now you have more balls, more colors, and you have to focus and find the red balls. And if you see, the user actually forgot about the problem, but they're focusing on the balls, and they're focusing more and more on the things we want them to focus on. This game will also pop up these things, which will actually ask the user how they're feeling at the moment. These things will actually be added to their data. The data will be collected per session, and we'll track the user how they're feeling throughout the game. Also, this will be added to a complete set where user can actually check the analysis. And so this, when you click on that and when the game ends, you can also check the progress report. Now, that's where the money comes in. We want to help the user, so the game is free. But to check the progress report, you got to get the premium membership. The premium membership doesn't actually just tells you the progress report. Actually, this progress report can be shared with a doctor if you have one. When the doctors run tests, they can't really find a solution. They can't really find what's happening because they just test you right at that moment. But ADHD continues throughout your journey. By this application, doctors can track you, and this has one more benefit. If you're not able to tap on this ball because you are panicking, you can't really focus. So doctors can actually track how many times you're missing, how many times you're tapping somewhere else and you can't really focus. The premium feature also focuses on giving you features like personalized games. So when the data has been collected, the software will actually understand what all problems you're actually facing and will show up more premium games. The game is not only just for ADHD people, anyone can also enjoy it. People can play with their family, and person who's suffering from ADHD can play it when they're bored, when they can't focus, when they want to study and they can't really get into it. So to bring the focus down, you can play this game. Also, there's something which is very important because chatting doesn't always work. So we have introduced the call feature. Again, this feature is for paid membership. So you can talk to someone when you're in need and they will understand you. And that is it with the WIT.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Cute. That was great. All right, let's bring our judges back on screen here for some questions. Okay. So who wants to take the lead with the questions this time around?
I don't have a question, but I'll make a comment. Sorry, Dennis, I cut you off there. I really like the ideas that you put here. I think this is really innovative, and maybe we're focusing too much on this, monetization, because I like the idea of this whole comprehensive ability from the gamification part to now I could share the information with my doctor. It might be a good idea if perhaps partnering with a large organization to pay for the actual application itself, so you're not limiting the full benefits of what I think is a very creative application here, because somebody may not have the funds to actually be able to unlock everything else. But I like what you put here, and I think it's very, very creative. Sorry, Dennis, I cut you off.
No worries. Actually, you touched on exactly where I was going. I love the simplicity and the gamification that you've done here to the problem, and as well, I would say you certainly could look at a monetization to it, but I would do it through an underlying monetization strategy versus charging the user. And that's what I was going to ask my question around. So, Isaac had good heads up there, but well done, well done.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think you could tie it to a loyalty program with some kind of retailer, and that person can earn points. So there's value in it for them as well, instead of it just being a cost to them. So I think I love the gamification, as Dennis said, and I think a loyalty program would tie in nicely for the person that's using it, that they get rewarded from the activity.
Oh, no. Now, Cute, I do have a quick question. As far as the games you've selected or the games that are being built, what's the science or the research behind what those games do and come from? Did you look into that? And maybe Dr. Paul could comment on that as well.
My sister is a psychologist, and many of my family members have ADHD. So while I was working on this application, I was constantly pinging all of them and asking them to play this game. I wanted to see where they're having trouble, and are they actually liking it. And what I noticed, they kept coming back and they kept playing it, and I actually understand. Oh well, this prototype is working, so actual application should work. In the state where a person is facing ADHD and doctors want to test them, what they do is they give them a bunch of balls, different colored balls, and they mix it all up, and they ask them to separate those balls, separate the red balls, separate the white balls, and to see if the user is able to focus on the balls or not, or they're getting too distracted with a lot of different colors.
Right. No, I love it. Dr. Paul, I mean, this is right down your alley. I don't know if you want to comment on this.
Yeah, I don't have any questions, but I completely, I just love your idea and the choice of your program, the choice of your game that using balls. And as you rightly said, uh, in clinical settings, what we do is that we give the child or the patient different kind of balls and ask them to separate. So you have kind of hit the right game, but taken it in a virtual platform, which is really great. Kudos to you.
Awesome.
Super.
Good job, Cute.
I'm just going to call out too that Cute developed this prototype on his own. So amazing work.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
All right. So let's let the judges do their thing and enter their scores. Thank you so much. And then we're going to ask our final team to present, and that would be team number 10. All right, so we are back with team number 10, and they are our final team presenting today. So let's invite team number 10. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hello.
Excellent. Hi, good.
Awesome. So where are you guys joining us from? Which provinces?
All
Ontario.
Yeah, GTA.
All right, GTA.
Parkdale, Toronto.
All right, sweet. Glad to have you. The stage is yours.
Okay. Share. Share screen. And all right. Okay, so hi everyone. We're Team 10, and this is Mental Map. In Canada, 1 in 5 people will suffer from a mental illness at some or mental health problem at some point in their life. However, only 30% of people seek help due to the cost of services, lack of knowledge on what's available, or just not knowing where to start. Mental health problems cost the Canadian economy $80 billion in just 2021 alone. Visits to the emergency room for mental health related issues puts a huge strain on healthcare services, but mental health problems also indirectly cost us in the form of loss in productivity. Improving mental well-being not only results in happier, healthier people, but can also result in huge savings that can be allocated elsewhere. So meet Olivia. She's a full-time student and part-time bubble tea barista. She struggles with feelings of depression and anxiety stemming from a difficult childhood, but hasn't been able to find a school counselor that quite fits her needs. She's looking for someone that understands her experiences as a young woman of color, but at a low cost. Searching online showed hundreds of websites and results that overwhelmed Olivia. The last thing you want when feeling vulnerable or preoccupied is getting overloaded with even more information on top of the stress you're already going through. The first step to getting help is accepting or acknowledging that there is a problem. We make the next step easier. Introducing Mental Map. With Mental Map, there's no need to click and scroll through a dozen different sites to compare and contrast services. Users start off with a simple questionnaire about their concerns and preferred methods to get suggestions for a variety of mental health problems, see low cost or publicly funded options, and pick which practitioner is best for them. Users can also rate and comment on what worked for them and why to help others in their search for improving their mental health. Using Mental Map, Olivia was able to search up therapists to help her with her depression and anxiety. Through user testimonies, filters, and keywords, she found a therapist that had experience with people of color and children of immigrants specifically. She found everything she was looking for, all within her budget, all in one place on Mental Map. And I will pass it off to our amazing developers so they can run you through a quick demo.
Excellent.
So this is our app called Mental Map. We have essentially aggregated all the resources that are available online and combined them into a single platform that's easier to read, easier to access, and navigate. So this is our first home screen where we can present different news feeds that are catered towards the user. And these news feeds will gradually change over time as our system starts to gather more analytics and starts doing more predictive machine learning neural net training on it in order to sort of find a lot easier and much better access to the resources without having to leave any of the or browse any of the websites. Our second tab here contains all the different categories that we have scraped, and we have presented them in a very neat and easy to access fashion. So if you're feeling, for example, right before starting this presentation, I was feeling a little anxious. So I can just type in here, anxiety, and it's automatically going to give me real-time results on that specific categories, and I can drill down further and get all the resources that are available for me related to anxiety in this case. And I can directly interact with the websites and all the information that is sort of available to the user here on the screen. Let's try a different site here.
Running out of time, so can we maybe check out the questionnaire? So a great feature of this website is that we can have a quick questionnaire to see how you're feeling and match you with care that you need. So let's get started and just take an example here. So let's say you're feeling, there's 4 different options here. Let's say you're feeling a little bit angry. So go ahead and select anger and click next. And you want to get some group support for this. There are a few other options as well. And then we want this service to be free. And we want it for maybe our child under 18 years old. So we'll select under up to 18, and let's find a resource. So what's great about this is we can see on the top right, these are free resources. It's a free service. And here's some information for you to visit their website or call for help. You can also check filter by language. You can filter by, sorry, I forgot, filter by your region as well.
All right, guys, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. That's all. Yep.
Appreciate it. That's your time. That was great. Okay, so I'm just going to invite our judges back on screen. Here we go. Hi, judges. Okay. Our last team here, team number 10, had a lot to get through. Do you have any questions for them?
I'll go first. I think you've done something neat here. I mean, you've kind of compressed a lot of resources. As you explained, Uni, in your first part, that could be a little bit overwhelming. You made it into easily accessible. I could walk through it. I could actually go to what I'm looking for. Gavin, you kind of made that even easier by having the questioning at the beginning to kind of narrow down. The question is there any validation that the tool will be, and perhaps not, of what those resources are? I mean, if I get a number, is it necessarily still in service? Is the doctor still there? Is that a consideration there to kind of just assure the usability and the quality?
Yeah, these are web scraped from verified databases or verified websites.
Okay.
So we're getting it from proper resources. So there is always the risk that something is out of date,
right?
As is on the internet at all. But they are from proper. What was the one that we scraped, Priyank? E-mental health.
E-mental health.
E-mental health.
So yeah.
So it's current and it's real time information.
Yeah, as current as their website is. So yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it seemed like you were tying in some kind of tracking elements. Is that part of that? And is that should you just maybe stick to here's an information resources what we do, as opposed to trying to bring in this other functionality? And maybe there's a reason you did that.
Well, our stretch goal with this is to provide low cost or free services as well. That's kind of like something that hits home a little bit. So we want to find a way to create sponsorship or create like low cost opportunities. So if we create analytics and are able to either sell data in a certain way that's ethical, but also create the brand, create the targeting that can allow a company such as Home Hardware to sponsor, some sort of consultation service. If you search for a result, you might see a result and it says, hey, you might qualify for such and such sponsored funding as well. That's another goal that we have.
I think also, part of that analytic kind of idea is to see what resources are being used and what keywords are being looked up. So maybe we can try to increase the focus of opioid use in Vancouver, so we can really tackle that problem because we know it's a big deal there. So in that way, we can kind of allocate money or resources in a smarter, more efficient way.
Right. Is there a bit of an intake play here as well? Because if I'm kind of filling a little bit of survey at the beginning to kind of create my profile, and then I'm being connected with a service provider, is there a bit of a triaging happening there before I even reach out? Maybe another opportunity there to kind of connect the user and the service provider a little bit seamlessly there. Just a thought. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we want them to get the right result, right? in a pain-free way. So even an improvement that we would like to make is instead of just clicking the home page, you know, connect it to the actual direct link to, you know, if you're searching for addiction at CAMH, you don't just go to CAMH's homepage, you go to that exact sub URL. So yeah, that with the questions that we ask, we would hope to direct them directly instead of with lots of steps.
Yeah, because that would make you a little bit more than just a mental health search engine, right? You'd actually be able to go directly to who I need to connect with, which is, I mean, for a person who, if they're not in crisis but in a state of need, you want to shorten that journey as much as possible, as you showed in your example.
Yeah, another thing we thought about that with the funneling was the very beginning. It's just that short questionnaire just to get what you want to work on, what methods you are comfortable working with on that problem, and then, you know, just a basic age, just because some places only serve a certain range.
Right.
So that is like the very basic.
Okay.
We just want to get a result to someone that may need it. So the least amount of cognitive load possible. And then once they get those initial results, they can then filter it down a little bit more. So using keywords or filters. And then from a much deeper level, they can maybe fill out a profile through the platform, which then even gets like their race or ethnicity, so they can connect with someone that understands their culture, speaks their language, or their age range. So if they have university troubles, then maybe they can have trouble with that or something like that. So it kind of goes from like a very broad to very specific, depending
Right.
on what the user immediately wants.
Are you actually using that data at the beginning to segment the information that's presented back to the user in a very targeted way?
Yes.
That's awesome.
So like you're choosing your feelings, your moods, and you're choosing what kind of help you want, and we're concatenating all those objects and including it in our search on the database.
Right.
So
right.
we actually stored everything into our own database as well.
Right. That's very
so
cool.
It's like a full stack situation that we've created.
Yeah, our two developers, they spend all day and all night coding. Actually,
No, that's really innovative, because I mean it goes from here to like, okay, this is what Isaac wants to see, and this is, you know, how it matches up to everything you know about me so far, and hopefully as you learn more, it becomes even more personalized.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing, the one thing that I wanted to add to your question, Isaac, was when it comes to sort of validating whether the service is active or not. So we plan on using these analytics and sort of track the user behavior through some of these step-by-step processes that we sort of guide them through. And based on that, we can sort of predict that, you know, if they're not going to that places anymore, then we can sort of flag that into our system and then automatically remove it from our listing, so that it's a daily cycle and we keep the listing up to date, and that way the users get the best results possible.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's what Google does with their search engine, right? So you can adopt some of that logic.
Yeah, I participate in the user stuff with Google all the time, fixing little problems in my in my life.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris, did you have a question? I know you kind of.
No, I just more of a comment, because I have a team of developers and project leads, and I don't know how many hours you guys had, but holy hell, did you get a lot done in a short amount of time. I'm so impressed with you guys and what you put together in that presentation. That's a lot to get your clear message across. So I'm impressed. And if you're looking for a job at some point,
there you go.
Oh, wow.
I'll
Thank you
connect
so
you
much.
with my development team, because that was impressive.
Are too
Thank
great.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Priyank, you look familiar. Aren't you a veteran of our hackathon?
I've been to a couple of your hackathons.
All right. Well, welcome back.
Good to see you back.
Good to be back.
All right. Good stuff. Well, listen, thank you so much, team member 10. That was awesome. You've given our judges a lot to think about. They've got to go away and enter their scores. And we'll probably give them a few extra minutes, because that was our final presentation. So we'll have to do some math and see who comes out as the winner. All right, folks. So just give us a few minutes and we'll get right back to you. But before we do that, I just wanted to say thank you once again to all of our teams for their wonderful presentations. You know, just like Chris said a few minutes ago, it's amazing what you've managed to do in such a short period of time. And just like previous years, super excited, super impressed with the results and in your prototype. So looking forward to seeing who the winner is at the end of all this. See you in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. We are close to announcing our grand prize winner. Sorry to keep you waiting there, but we had to make sure that our judges get it right, so they needed a few minutes to deliberate. Now, before we get to our grand prize, I do have some other prizes that I need to announce as well. Last night, as you know, we had a special guest DJ, and we told our participants that the first person to correctly identify the name of the famous person featured in the picture hanging behind our DJ would get a prize, which was a $100 Amazon gift card. So we actually had a tie. Both Habon and May answered at exactly the same time. So they both win a $100 Amazon gift card. So congratulations to both of them. Awesome. Next up, as you all know, we were looking for your posts on social media. So we have another announcement to make. I want to announce that @Kiki is the winner of an Uber Eats gift card valued at $100. So congratulations and thank you for all your posts. All right, next up, we've got the big announcement coming. So as you know, we have 3 different prizes. We have a third, second, and first, or a grand prize winner. So to make those announcements, I'm going to invite our judges back on stage. Hi, guys.
Hey, Trish.
How was the deliberation?
It was good. It was awesome. I think I could speak on behalf of the judges to say that really the ideas and the concepts that we saw were really amazing and inspiring and really in line with what we were looking for from a point of creativity and innovation. A few things we didn't expect were kind of thrown in there, but they were great. I'll let the judges jump in here.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know what? Fantastic presentations by all. It's not easy to do something like this in a 24-hour period. So congrats and well done.
Awesome. So I know we've got some announcements to make. We're going to start off with our third place team. And making that announcement is Dennis. Is that right?
It is. Well, listen, thank you very much. I do get the honor of announcing the third place winner. Fantastic job. And the winner of third place is Team 4 360, the U check-in. What a wonderful presentation. It was scored extremely high. And we just love the idea of being able to journal your emotions. It had a diary type of concept to it. You could invite your friends into it over time and just really expand on just a really interactive experience around mental health. And so very, very well done. And congratulations to Team 4.
Awesome. Team 4. Outstanding. So good. All right. Thanks, Dennis. We are off to second place. So to make that announcement, we have Dr. Paul.
Yes, it's my honor to announce the second place winner. The winner is Mental Map. Congratulations, team, and you have done a beautiful job, a wonderful idea. It was unanimously, we decided that it was a great idea. A lot of work has gone in. Personally, I like the fact that you all were cognizant of the diversity of the users. Wonderful presentation to start with a typical profile of a person, young person struggling with mental health challenges. So very wonderfully done, great idea, and much needed. And I wish you good luck.
Amazing. Congratulations, team number 10. That's outstanding. All right, Chris, representing our presenting sponsor, Home Hardware, with the first place announcement.
Yeah, this was actually such a great event. I really appreciated watching all the presentations. I think we're all winners by seeing the youth present stuff like this. It's quite amazing that you guys come up with the concepts and do prototypes in such a short period of time. So I thank all of you for doing that. It was wonderful. And to drag this out a little bit longer, no, I won't do that. So the winner is Team 9 on the software called Wit with Cute. Cute, you did an amazing job.
I know we have Cute.
Thank you so much. My mom's watching the stream and I'm...
Oh, hi, Mom. Congratulations.
That's amazing.
I really appreciated it. The fact that it was gamified, that actually, you know what, within the first or second color, I already forgot what I was doing because I was so focused on trying to get to the dots. So, I really appreciate the thought process in that, and well done.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Cute.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
This is the first time we've had a winner with a team consisting of one person. So that's outstanding and actually pretty incredible. So congratulations. All right.
Thank you.
Isaac, any closing words for our folks here, our participants?
No, I think nothing that I haven't said or the judges haven't said already. This is a marathon. It is an endurance effort for sure. Being able to do the amount of work, find resources, be creative, put something that you could share in front of the whole country, because we're streaming live here. I think takes a lot of effort. So I just want to say congratulations to you, Cute, and I think more importantly to everybody that participated and was part of the hackathon overall. We will be sending out for the first time this year certificates of I Survived Hack for Good 2022. So just to thank and recognize everybody for the effort. Again, thank you so much for being part of this. And the judges, there's some first-time judges here. You guys were awesome. I'm going to give you guys a hand.
Good job.
It's really inspiration to see the community coming together. I said at the beginning yesterday, the hackathon has been about innovation. It's about community, and it's really about challenging ourselves. And I'll say it again here. And I think we've proven that. And to you, Trish, I thank you for hosting the whole event and being the face of Hack for Good. So kudos to you as well. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, listen, everyone. As Isaac said, it's been a marathon, so we're going to sign off. But thank you so much for participating. Thank you for your commitment. And this was fantastic. Like I said, not everybody who starts a hackathon finishes a hackathon. So you guys are fantastic. Thank you and take care. See you next time.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.